Welcome back. Today's episode is one that I'm especially excited to share because we're talking about something our community has needed for a long time: honest representation of food allergy life. I'm joined by filmmaker and advocate Mandi Kearns of Just Like You Films to discuss the upcoming docudrama May Contain My Life, a film that explores the realities of living with food allergies, not just medically, but emotionally too. As both a psychologist and a food allergy parent, there were moments in this film that felt incredibly familiar and deeply moving. What I appreciated most, though, is that this story is not centered around fear or victimhood. It's centered around resilience, humanity, and the everyday experiences that so many families quietly carry. I'm really grateful for this conversation and for this film, and I think that many of you will feel deeply seen by it. Welcome to the Don't Feed the Fear podcast, where we dive into the complex world of food allergy anxiety. I'm your host, Dr. Amanda Whitehouse, food allergy anxiety psychologist and food allergy mom. Whether you're dealing with allergies yourself or supporting someone who is, join us for an empathetic and informative journey toward food allergy calm and confidence. Mandi, thank you so much for joining me here on the Don't Feed the Fear podcast. I'm so excited to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited to finally be on and chat with you.
Of course. What was exciting for me, it's one of the perks of podcasting to get a sneak peek of the film and to get to watch it and then to ask you all the things that are on my mind about it. I was wondering if you could start just by giving us a background on you. Your professional path, from what I read, has really changed and been influenced by this project.
It has. So I come from an educator background. I was a teacher, taught first and second grade. When I had my first child, my daughter, who is now 20, I decided to become a stay-at-home mom. And then when my second child was born, which is Giles, is my food allergy individual. And I got thrust into the advocacy world because I know we'll probably get into this further later, but I just became a food allergy advocate and did lots of work around that. And then from that came into filmmaking.
How did you get connected with Just Like You Films?
So through my advocacy role, I always took a lot of food allergy parents and educated the school every year about his case, specifically what he could have, what he couldn't have. And then I always took expired epinephrine into the classrooms and had the teachers try it because a tiny bit of feedback. I think it just takes that edge off of the nervousness. His fourth grade year, I went in to do that and got I don't need to do this. You don't have to train me. I'm good. I got it. And
From the teacher?
From the teacher, yes. And I left that training with the teacher in August, and I called my husband. I was like, this is not going to be good. I have just a terrible feeling about this year. And not even 2 weeks into school, he got served the wrong lunch from the lunchroom. And they called me from the table and said, Giles has ingested one of his allergens. What do you want us to do? And I just said, I want you to follow his action plan, which states if he's ingested anything without any signs or symptoms at this point, you still need to give him epinephrine and call 911. And they're like, right here at the table? And I was like, yes, right here at the table. He always has his medicine on him. Just do it. So I immediately left the house, not even 5 minutes away, and got a call. I was about 1 block from school and got a secondary call from the school. And of course, my heart stopped immediately thinking, this isn't good. And it was a school nurse who called and said, Are you sure you want us to give him epinephrine? And I'm like, I lost my cool and screamed through the receiver and screamed, give him his medicine now. And Giles, at 9 years old, overheard that, pulled his own Advocacy out and gave his own life-saving medicine at 9 years old for the first time. He's had it several times, but the first time he had administered it himself. All the advocacy, all the work we'd done training worked, but for him, it worked for him. He knew how to do it. And so then the next day at carpool line, a parent came up to me and said, have you ever heard of Just Like You Films? I was like, no, I actually haven't. And you need to, because you are a parent who has done absolutely everything. You've advocated, you've went above and beyond, you've trained, and they still didn't do what they should have done. They still didn't get it. And you need to create a film. Like, we need to have a film about food allergies because there are so many people out there who don't have the, what's the right word, the audacity, or who don't have the drive or the confidence to do that, to go and train and take care of their kid in that way. Even though they want to, they just don't have it. And I did not have that, I didn't feel like, until you have to. Like, it's this world that we live in with food allergy kids. You have to do what you have to do to protect them. So then I met with Jen Greenstreet, who is our CEO and founder of Just Like You Films. She's created in the past 20 years 15 films. This collection cakes up to 15 films. And I came on with her and we started making this film. And then I became part of staff at Just Like You Films for Director of Impact. And now I'm COO and filmmaker.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the other films just to give us an idea of some of the other topics?
Absolutely. So it started with Just Like You Burns, and then Just Like You Caring for a Burn Survivor, progressed into Just Like You Down syndrome, Just Like You diabetes, Just Like You anxiety and depression. That's our only other feature length documentary. We have facial anomalies and cleft lip and palate, and Just Like You autism.
That's amazing that those resources are out there.
And we're super excited. We have our first ever feature length narrative film that we went in partnership with Voyage Media and Low Road Media. And it's called Rise and Shine. And it's about a girl who lives with cerebral palsy. It's based on a true story. Super sweet story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now you're staying on with the company and continuing to work there. You said you're the COO now. So tell me about your role and the future of what's next.
Yeah. So Just Like You Films is a small grassroots nonprofit and production company. So we do a lot and we all wear a lot of different hats. We're working on getting into classrooms. You can view them all in Just Like You TV. And we're trying to do what we call the empathy engine, which takes a film into workplaces, healthcare systems, schools. We do a small little discussion ahead of time, a little activity maybe. We show the film. We do a discussion afterwards. And we have something called the Walk Beside You Promise that was wrote by Jen several years ago. And we always end it by everybody reciting the Walk Beside You Promise because it is so meaningful and powerful.
Is that written somewhere where people can read it if they want to see the language of that? Or is it just a part of the experience?
No, it's on our webpage. We have a video that's called the Walk Beside You Promise, and that's on there for free.
Okay. And obviously we're smiling and we're saying, this is great. Like, what a huge success. But all of these films must have come from struggle and pain and fear and really horrible stories like your son's. And so a lot of parent advocates out there like pushing for their kids, right?
Yep. Every film has been brought to Just Like You by a parent, really like me. There's always one driving force. The one really cool and unique part about Just Like You Films is it's not trying to victimize. We're not trying to be like, poor me, I'm the victim, or poor my child, he lives with food allergies, he has such a horrible life. No, that's not true. Like, he is a hero. And all these kids, they are the heroes. They're the ones who need to be raised up and not to, like, don't feed the fear. We're not trying to make people fearful. And these kids are truly the stars. They just live with this. It's just one part of who they are.
Yeah, I always say they're the bravest people that I know.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And I think that's a good segue because the film really shows that. I think the film does such a good job of demonstrating that. Let's talk around it a little bit and talk about what it was like to be then professionally involved, but also obviously so emotionally as the parent and the driving force behind the topic too.
This is my first introduction into filmmaking. And now, of course, we've moved on to I've been on other sets and we've created some other films and progressed since we filmed this. But it was very unique because I was learning as I went as well, the film side of it. This is my heart. Like, this film is my heart and soul, and I protected it at every roundabout corner we went to. I would protect the integrity of it and the stories we were telling to make sure that it was the stories we should be telling. Sometimes we did have to show the bullying because bullying is a real thing. It's real. That's real life. So we wanted to make sure we really showed what everyday life is for these kids and what could truly happen. And so it was emotional, to say the least. We are very intentional about the emotional journey, like the journey that we wanted the viewer to go on as well. Jen is amazing at showing the movie arc, and I feel like this film shows it really well.
It does. And I was on that emotional roller coaster ride. I have to admit, I definitely cried. My son is now living in maintenance for OIT and SLIT. So he's done treatments for his allergies. So it's not as anxiety provoking as it used to be. And yet I realized when I was watching this, like, a lot of that is still under there, even for me as someone in mental health that's been working on it. Yeah. Can you say more about what that intention was to walk people through emotionally and what you're telling people about preparing for watching something so emotional?
It wasn't about the fear. It's about being resilient, the strength that these kids feel, and what it means for everyday life. I've actually underwent another journey through this since we filmed. she's a sophomore now, my freshman in college developed a peanut allergy. And she's living across the country. So I feel like life, as we all know, it ebbs and flows. And that was just another curve that we had to take. But it's been interesting because she was actually in the film as like a background, not as a star, like, how it is, siblings. But she didn't have the allergies at the time. And it's been interesting to navigate that as well now, because it was always a supporter, but also was probably from the anxiety were part of it all, that she lived a lot of the anxiety, having her brother go by ambulance all the time. And now we've went back into that realm. So it's the emotional part of it is hard when I watch it. When we have our premiere, I will definitely probably be crying again, because it's hard for me to watch. It still is hard for me to watch, to go back and watch it, because it is such an emotional journey, but I'm so proud of it.
Oh my gosh. So I have to say, I have worked with what seems like statistically a surprising amount of kids who developed an allergy when they went away to college for the first time.
Really?
Have you heard other people say that?
Well, I immediately text an allergist that I know. I was like, what is going on? I have never heard of, especially a peanut allergy. Like, I feel like you hear of other allergens. Shellfish is the big one in adult life.
Yeah.
He's a college volleyball player, and they really put a lot of peanut butter in her diet when she got to college. And I think her immune system, I'm guessing, because we didn't have a lot of it here. In the house, we had an allergy safe house, as far as we didn't have nuts in the house. But when we'd go away to like volleyball tournaments, we'd always make sure to eat it. So she had it before. So it's really, her case is very interesting.
I'm sorry to hear that. And yeah, what a roller coaster for her. From, like you said, it can be very traumatizing for the siblings watching and being on the outskirts, and then to be thrust into it herself is really unique.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So was she doing well? Was she managing well now away at school? And
she's still settling in. She's a sophomore now, so she's had it now for her second school year. And we've had a few bumps in the road this year, but it always seems to be when I'm on an airplane or out of the country that she calls and, Mom, I'm having a reaction. Well, take your medicine and call the ambulance and the whole protocols. But she's managing it as well as she can.
My heart aches for both of you to be navigating that and being so far away from her and getting those calls. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. My son had one, like the first time I dared to travel after he had been doing well and was away, and he had a reaction in the middle of the night while I was gone. And that was to not be able to be with them.
You just feel so hopeless. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm in Kansas. I'm so far away from you. But she has a great support system around her, which is like this last time she had a reaction and her volleyball coach called me and she said, I am following the ambulance right now. Like, I can see her. I'm following her there. And then she sent me a picture of her, like, thumbs up. And we're very fortunate that she has that now.
Wow. I wish her the best in settling in and learning to adjust. While we're talking about that, if it's okay, why don't you give us an update on how your son is doing?
He's managing. So he has peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, buckwheat, and sesame. He just avoids and does his thing. He's doing great. He's every other food allergy kiddo, pretty much, I would guess. You would never know by looking at him. He's now, from the film, he's now 6'5" and 205 pounds. He's a big boy.
Oh my God.
He's a huge football player. You would just never guess by looking at him that he has this, which is part of the uniqueness of, I think, food allergies is they're invisible. Food allergies are invisible, but the consequences are not, which we all probably found out in some way or another.
Yeah, and then so back to the film, I think it does such a good job of displaying that and pulling you in. I watched it as a parent who has been through it, but I think for people who haven't walked it too, it will give them a little bit of a taste of what it feels like.
We showed the trailer at a restaurant association, and I had somebody fly up to me afterwards and was like, Mandi, I've known you for like ever, and I didn't know you were making a film about my life. And he goes, and he's 50, in his 50s. He's like, I live with severe food allergies. You know that. And he goes, I was sitting over there crying, just watching the trailer. And I'm like, okay, so there are a lot of people that this is really going to impact the beyond what I think we even have a grapple on. But we went into it with, we know the food allergy community knows all this, or the majority of them know this. They live it. It's their everyday life. The intention behind is more for the people who don't live this every day. For the people who come up to us and say, Mandi, are child's allergies really that bad? Or, come on, I want my cookie. Like, why can't my kid have their cupcake or cookie? This is for those people to help them create a little bit more empathy. Because once they can feel something, that's when change is going to happen. So we're hoping that the film evokes empathy, invokes all these feelings, that they'll be able to better understand what life is really like for our community.
Yeah. It sounds like the feedback you're getting from people who already know it is that validation. I see myself reflected in this, and that makes our experiences valid because I think so much of the time we do get, like you just described, question, are you sure? It probably can't be that bad. All of those kind of questions and challenges that we receive. And this lays it out there emotionally, but also factually and with it backed up by information of what it's
Yeah.
really, the risk really is.
Yeah. It was really important for us to have Ruchi Gupta on screen and be able to do the factual behind the scenes. She is also a mother of a food allergy kiddo. So Ria, her daughter, is in the film, which is super sweet. So you see the mother side of her too, but it's also great to have the scientific behind the scenes so you can actually learn what happens when a food allergy reaction is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's exciting for those of us in the food allergy community. She's our rock star.
Yeah.
And so we love seeing and hearing from her because she does know it from both angles. And she's just amazing in terms of the progress that she's made for us. Do you want to talk about some of the other folks who are in it who are probably drawing a lot of attention too?
Yes. So we have our spokesperson is Jerome Bettis, Jerome the Bus Bettis from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is our, I would say, our soundboard through the whole thing. And I think he's amazing. Like, we could not have gotten luckier to have him in the project. His voice, just from the pure stigma point of view, to show that these kids are strong. And food allergy people can be strong. They're tough. And he proves that so well. And he really, I feel like, at least portrays that throughout the whole film.
Yeah, because he's the opposite of that stereotype that everyone jumps to of the kid with the peanut allergy.
Yep.
And that was so exciting for me. I'll take some flack for this because I live in Buffalo, but I grew up in Pennsylvania. I'm a Steelers girl.
It was really neat when we went down to film with him. My son went down for part of the scene, and I don't know if I should give that away, but he goes down for part of the scene and meets him. And afterwards, Giles was talking to him because Giles is an up-and-coming football player. And he was just asking him questions about, how did you navigate the locker room and team dinners? And I tell you, Jerome was so, like, he just sat with him and talked to him and talked about how they did it and what worked for him. It was just, as a mom, like, to have such a famous person be able to take time and talk to him and really educate him on what worked for him in his football career and how to move forward was really special.
That's so cool. And not surprising. Everything I've ever heard about him is as a person, not just a player, how amazing he is. So thank you, Jerome Bettis, the bus, for being part of this. That's amazing.
Yes. And then we also have two previous Disney stars, August Machuro and Ava Kolker, who are in our narrative thread of the film. So I guess I should probably preface with, our documentary is not a traditional documentary. It's called a docudrama. So it's a documentary that weaves in a narrative thread throughout the whole thing. So we do have the narrative available on its own, 20 minutes, but we weaved it through the documentary to show, like we talked about earlier, how food allergies are invisible and we could have the talking head, but the way we're really going to make the impact, create the empathy, is to have the narrative thread, which is going to show people what's going on. So August came on, and August was originally signed on just to be part of the documentary. And then as we started to progress and we were casting, Jen came up with the idea to, what if we shot a narrative piece? And we wove it throughout. Since he is an actor already, he got Ava, and then we did a casting call and got Tanner, who is just cast as Shaggy in the new Netflix show, and Zinnia. So they are our main four actors in the narrative portion of the film. So it's really exciting to get them on there. And since August lives with real life food allergies and has had a reaction on set, like, he brought the aspect to that role that we really needed.
That was so cool and so powerful to find out that's the case for him. Obviously, good actors can act, but to know that it's someone who's invested in the topic and the cause.
Right. Well, and there were times on set where we were making it as authentic as we could without trying. That is the part that could potentially, like, be traumatic to people, I think, seeing a real life anaphylaxis, not real life, movie life. Still
accurately depicted, though.
Yes, we were really cautious about making it as real life as we could. As far as, even, I know on set we had a couple questions, like we were calling Ruchi from set to be like, what do you think? I think we should do this. What do you think? Just stuff to make sure that we were really truly portraying it. At one point, it was originally in the script to use Benadryl, and I was like, we can't use Benadryl. We're not using Benadryl. If he thinks he's exactly, if he thinks he's having a reaction, no, we cannot have him using Benadryl. Like that's one of the biggest no, like we aren't doing that. So there's
Right.
certain things as we went through it, like we modified on set and we progressed with what we knew was the right way to go. And I really think we did, but I really hope everybody else feels that we did a good job in portraying.
It can look so different from person to person, right? So there's no one way, but to do it accurately and to show them making the correct, and I won't give away too much either, but it does also display some of the hesitation and some of what we maybe couldn't do, and help us to understand why, especially kids that age. That's powerful.
And through the years, I always, oh, surely when we get to teenage years, it's not really going to change. Oh, yes, it will. Sorry. So all of you that have younger kids now, it will change. Like there are times Giles was so loyal to being like taking his epis everywhere and not taking risk. And he still doesn't necessarily take risk, but his epis are honestly something where I'm like, do you have them? Where are they? Show me. Like, because I think even though he uses the ABQ, which is smaller and you can hide it a little bit more, he's still a teenage boy who but he will not take risks with food. He is very picky in his food. And I think that is, I'm guessing, part of being food allergy as well. Like they get used to what they can eat and what they can't eat. But the teenage years have definitely changed a bit.
Yes. And I love that's the thread that you picked for the narrative, because I think that's it. All the stages are hard, but I think for us as parents and for kids going through so much at that age, I do think emotionally that's where a lot of this kicks in, and you depicted that so well.
Well, and we really wanted to hit the pain points, or what we felt were the pain points, I would say, for food allergy families. The main one that kept coming through when talking to the real life families are birthday parties. Birthday parties are a struggle for kids, and as they become teenagers and as they get older even yet, it's a struggle. So that's why we decided to show a birthday party scene. And then we all know, like, restaurants, airplanes. I could go on and on about the schools, the pain points as well, but that was the one we picked that we thought would be the best.
The other pain point that I love that you threw in there was someone trying to help, someone thinking that they're protecting the person, and I won't say how, you know, but someone thinking that they're doing a good deed and helping the person with the allergy that didn't fully understand the situation. Good intention, not trying to bully him or pick on him.
Yeah, we thought it was really important to show that, because there are a lot of well-intended people. I think in everybody's journey, there's somebody there who has the best of intentions. Like, they're not trying to put you at risk. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to really be inclusive, but not understanding that a baked good made in somebody else's kitchen would ever be safe. Like, I would never allow my child to have a baked good from somebody else's kitchen just because of potential cross-contamination. And I think that cross-contamination piece is one that a lot of people don't think about, whether it be in restaurants or in homes or anywhere, schools. That is a definite pain point and something that we wanted to make sure to touch on. That is a real risk.
So well done. Going into it, I'm like, oh, how are they going to do this? I'd heard about the structure, and you weaved in so many important points while you're doing the narrative, while you're breaking away for the documentary pieces with the talking heads explaining. Like, there's just so much to it. And it does feel like watching a movie.
Thank you. I think the everyday kids who did their story, who told their stories, did a really good job of showing how their reactions could be different, because every kid in the documentary did share what their reactions looked like. And they are all different, which I think was a good portion. Like, we had to show one style of a reaction and what that reaction looked like, but that is one style, or what one of them could look like.
I'm curious about, we touched on that there's the VR piece, but we didn't circle back to it. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Jen loves VR. So when VR was at its biggest hype, I would say, during COVID, it was just it was amazing. She used it all the time. It's how she communicated with her family. So when we were going out to LA to shoot the narrative piece, she said, what if, Mandi, what do you think if we shoot it in VR, virtual reality 360? I was like, can we afford it? We are a nonprofit. We found Barry Postman, who is a amazing DP. He's our director of photography for the virtual reality. He worked with us. I know he's done a ton of work with Columbia. He's done presentations at the United Nations with virtual reality. We hit the jackpot with him. So we would film the narrative piece, like a traditional movie style with all your lights and your cameras and set up. And then we would clear the site, and we'd set a 360 camera in the middle of the scene and clear everything out. Like, people and everything had to be hidden. We put a little face on our camera, which is really cute. Like our pictures are funny. But then we'd shoot it all again, and the actors would act to the camera. So and when you're shooting otherwise, you never act to camera. Like when you're doing a narrative piece, you never look at the camera. This one, we told them all to look at the camera because the VR piece is called May Contain Two Sides. And the really neat part is it's like there's a line down the middle, like our screen is right now. And you can look to the right and you can see Zach's POV, who is played by August Machuro. You can see Zach's POV of what it's like for him in the eyes of somebody who lives with food allergies. Or you can look the other direction and look in Lydia's point of view, which is Xenia, and see she's trying to advocate on behalf of him, and she kind of has a crush on him and what it's like to be the person on the outside of the food allergy world looking in. So it's really neat. It was in a film festival in Paris, got a lot of reviews there. So we're trying to figure out what to do with it right now. We do have this weekend, the YMCA is having us out. We're doing a VR bar, is what we call them. So we go out places and we hook up the virtual reality headset. We have 5 headsets and we put them in it and they watch it. And it's been amazing. It truly puts people into the shoes where you can sit and watch on a screen, but this literally, you put the headset on and you're thrown into the world.
That's really cool. And is the VR part the narrative only then?
Yes, the VR part is only narrative. And there are small differences from the actual feature length and the other flat narrative. There are small little tweaks we made, but otherwise it's the same film.
Wow. So you mentioned a little bit of recognition that you've been getting. I know you've got a big premiere coming up, but tell me more about that end of things.
Yes, so we are so excited. We've done our festival run, and we are, I believe, unless something comes up, we are done with our festival run. We are premiering our red carpet world premiere. So we have not premiered this anywhere yet. Is here in Kansas City, May 21st at Union Station. For any of you sports fans, it was where the draft was held. Union Station is the icon of Kansas City, so we're really thrilled to be having it there. And then May 22nd to May 29th, AMC Theaters has picked this up. So our film will be around AMC Theaters, 150 to 200 theaters nationwide for that week for sure. We had our anxiety and depression film picked up the same capacity, and a lot of theaters end up keeping it for the month. We have to say it'll be there for a week, but we're really optimistic that it'll stay there for longer so everybody can get out and watch it. After that run, we will pull it in-house for a little bit on our main page, just like UTV, and keep it on there for rentals for a period of time. But we have signed an agreement with Giant Pictures, and that'll put it on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, all the major TVODs. So it'll put them out. It'll be out on all those major platforms for anybody to get access to.
Wow. So you probably don't know the timeline yet then of when that will be.
July is when we're thinking it'll be live on all those platforms. We have an agreement with Collective Eye, and Collective Eye is an educational distributor. So they're going to put it up for colleges to get access to. It'll be in library systems and on Canopy. But on this deal, we reserved all the rights. So we're keeping it in-house as far as we will always own it. We'll always own all the rights. So we can take it. If you called me tomorrow and said, hey, Mandi, come to our support group, come to our school, come to our workplace, we will come because we will not be under an agreement. We have access to the film. We'll be able to come to any education, screenings, trainings, anywhere we want, whenever we want.
So tons of ways for people to see this. In other words, that if they're in the area or they want to travel, they can come to the big event in May. They can keep an eye on their local movie theaters. If they're not lucky enough to see it in AMC, they can rent it. They can wait for it to stream. They can reach out to you directly. It sounds like if they want to create an event, like for an organization or.
Absolutely. And it's going to get Oscar qualified. I forgot to mention that part. So we're getting it Oscar qualified in May. So Oscar qualified in New York City.
Tell me about that process. I know nothing about it.
Yeah. So to get a film Oscar qualified, it has to play in a theater in a certain region. There are like 5 major regions it can play in. New York is one of them, Chicago, Atlanta, LA. Like it has to be in one of their theaters, but it has to play for a week straight. And it has to play for a minimum of 3 times a day. And one of those times has to be after 7 p.m. And then the other way to get Oscar qualified is if you win a major film festival.
Okay. So. And then what category would it be in once it's Oscar qualified?
Documentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I get docudrama.
I know, it's interesting, like, we've always wondered, like, what categories, and when we were going through the film festival route, we always put it in documentary, but we were like, "What should it have been in?" We don't know, like, people can tell us.
Yeah, it's pretty unique the way that you did that. And you're calling it a docudrama, but I've never heard that phrase before.
The only other one we've ever really was The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So they followed a docudrama, and that's where we got the word docudrama, I guess you could say. So they had a similar platform to what we did.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that one, but yes, that will help people understand it a little bit better if they're not sure what we're talking about here
Yes.
when we're calling it that. Please tell them where they can find everything, how they can follow you so they don't miss it. And
Yeah, so we do have a webpage just for this. It's called maycontainfilms.org. So you can hop on there. You can hop on justlikeyouFilms.org, and that can link out to it as well. So if you can't remember the May Contains Films, just go to justlikeyouFilms.org and it will link out to our page. And then follow us on social media. We have a great Instagram. We do Facebook. We do a tiny bit of Twitter. We do LinkedIn. So yeah, give us a follow and follow along on our journey.
wonderful. And you're a nonprofit. People can support you by renting or watching a film, but what are other ways for people to support you if they would like to?
Yes, we are still looking for red carpet sponsors, to be honest. We're doing our red carpet here, but we're also want to do a red carpet out in New York City for the Elijah Alave Foundation. Dina told her story for the very first time, and I don't think we even touched on this yet. She told her story for the very, very first time ever in this documentary, and it was heartbreaking. She's amazing and a powerhouse, and Thomas and Dina have been nothing short of amazing partners for us, and we are working together on launching this out together. They will be at the red carpet premiere, both of them, but we also want to do a red carpet out in New York for them. So where Elijah's Law originally was founded, we would like to do one out there. So that's that in the same week, we're going to try and do some type of red carpet or Q&A after one of the showings out there.
That's amazing. And I am glad that you mentioned that because I know many of us in the community, we just support them and we appreciate them so much. And their story is so powerful.
Yes. And I think the key part there is we just don't want to focus on necessarily the details of what happened because it was horrific and we all know that. But we wanted to raise more awareness about the education and training and what Elijah's Law is doing, what Dina and Thomas, how they've become so strong and are still advocating like crazy and creating all kinds of waves, which is amazing. It's heartbreaking no matter how you think about it. But I think her story does make the film so impactful.
And their work and the advocacy and all of the people, I just think all the time of how many kids they've saved with
Yes.
the work that they've done and all of the legal advocacy side of it, I think is another angle that you weaved in with our story and with their story. So thank you both to them because I think that gives us hope that we could change something moving.
I know I have went down to Missouri to testify twice on behalf of Elijah's Law. And every time I say I could have been in the same situation as them if my son had been younger, if he wasn't able to pull out that device to save his own life. So those younger childcare settings, it's so important for them to be trained properly, to know how to use epinephrine devices. I think it's definitely saving lives. Definitely.
It is. Thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who was involved, all the actors, all the contributors, to you, everyone on the team there. It's so wonderful in so many ways to have this out there for us and to speak on behalf of our community and represent us in a way that's accurate and emotional and validating. Thank you.
Absolutely. We are, like I said, we are always looking for sponsors. So if anybody out there wants to help sponsor us and get this out there even more and help us to continue to create films about individual unique circumstances and what people live with and bringing light to them, we'd really appreciate it.
Wonderful.
And go watch the film.
Absolutely. Go and watch it. Please don't miss it. And what's a final thought you want to leave everybody with?
Our goal is to make sure the film reaches as many people as possible because awareness is what truly makes the difference and is going to change the world.
Yes. So don't just watch, but share. Share with the people who don't understand that need to know.
100%. 100%.
Wonderful. I am so appreciative of your work and so happy to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you again to Mandi, Kearns, and everyone who worked on this film for creating something honest, thoughtful, and important for our community. Before we wrap up, here are 3 ways you can support this project and continue the conversation. First, this episode is airing on May 19th, and the premiere in Kansas City is on May 21st. So if you happen to be in the area and still have time to try to attend, I'm sure that would be an amazing experience for you. But for those who aren't able to do that, look up the AMC theater near you and see if May Contain My Life is showing in your area. Showing up for projects like this helps demonstrate how important these stories are. Second, visit maycontainfilms.org for more on this film, or just like you, films.org for the other films and educational resources that this group has created. There are incredible projects helping children and families from all different experiences to feel represented, understood, and less alone. And third, share this episode with someone who may benefit from it, whether it's another parent, patient, provider, educator, family member, or especially someone outside of our community who is open to better understanding what food allergy life can really feel like. These conversations matter, representation matters, and our community deserves stories that reflect the challenges and the resilience that exist within it. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you again next week. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical or mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any questions about your own medical experience or mental health needs, please consult a professional. I'm Dr. Amanda Whitehouse. Thanks for joining me. And until we chat again, remember, don't feed fear.